Garfield, a beloved orange cat from the comic strips, turns 40 years this month. While other web series on this very channel will subject you to existential and cultural impact of the character, the very purpose of this episode is to subject you to my small collection of weird Garfield merchandise. Garfield's primary medium, of course, are comics and reprints of such in the book form. Here is an example from my collection, a lovely Dutch book which reprints Garfield strips from March to August of 1988, skipping the larger Sunday strips. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of this book is that it changes layout of the strips from horizontal to vertical, as well as featuring new coloring and lettering. I use this book to learn Dutch and it really helps. Thanks to it I know that I can see myself in your teeth is ik zie mezelf in jufttanden. Well, I'm using the cat brush is ik gebruik de kattenborstel. However, apart from his primary comic book form, Garfield appears on many unrelated objects, such as adhesive bandages, which are also known as stick and plaster in British English. Yes, these are quite basically band-aid-like bandages which you apply to your wounds. And in this respective case, your wound would be protected by lovely Garfield facial expressions. To be honest, I'm kind of missing the train of thoughts original designers of these things were having. Usually, the color of such bandages is close to natural body-like color or neutral white. In order not to draw too much attention, well, having something like this practically screams at being noticed. I mean, I understand that that largely this product was aimed at children, but believe it or not, I have found it in the usual semi-medical stash of a local supermarket, and I've seen adults taking it at random. As you can see, I have two packages of such, one opened and one unopened. There was actually a period when these were the only bandages I had lying around, and I actually used them. I can attest that they work good enough, but yes, they draw a lot of attention. It should be noted that they may also double as Garfield stickers, if you need such. One of the weirdest things I have lying around with Garfield on it is this. A 2006 educational CD with reading assignments for 2nd grade. Time was not gentle with this thing. When I have found it, it was already like this, and considering that shelf life of a CD is 5 years, and modern computers won't run software like that, I haven't even expected that CD to run on a laptop. But it did, which prompted me to try to record the process of installation and hopefully some gameplay. Now, I should say there is a good reason why this channel only has 1.5 videos centered on video games. And this reason is pretty obvious when you look at these videos. So yes, I somewhat suck at screen recording, and I also somehow made it record from the inbuilt microphone of the laptop this time, which led to these great sounds of installing something from a 2006 CD. Apart from the software itself, the CD features some trailers, one of which is also about Garfield software, an interactive encyclopedia about cats. There was also a link in the official site of the distribution company, which now leads to an unrelated website which sells some smartphones in Russia. So basically a CD from 2006 is trying to sell you a modern smartphone. Thanks, I already have one, and at times I regret transitioning from regular cell phones because they were far less glitchy. While CD more or less runs intact, software crashes if you attempt to open it, making aspect ratio of your display 4:3, which is always nice. CD package actually says that the software is not guaranteed to work on laptops, so you can kind of see that coming. The software was pretty much very simple anyway. An interactive reading game with a few original stories and assignments. My favorite aspect about it is art, which features some of the weirdest situations with John and Garfield I have ever seen. I love it. Overall, a bit of surreal weirdness is what I love in Garfield comics, and it is only natural that it transitioned to merchandise and tie-ins as well. Much better.